What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another one. If you're new to the channel, I'm Gold Pony. I do new car, truck, SUV reviews on YouTube, and today we're in the brand new 2023 Mercedes-Benz GLC 300, courtesy of Mercedes-Benz of Hagerstown in Hagerstown, Maryland. For more information on their inventory, please feel free to check out the link in the description box below. So we're in this one today because there's a nice refresh going on for 2023, not just on the outside, but on the inside substantially as well. You got a longer wheelbase, a new MBUX infotainment system. So quite a bit is new for this particular model. So ultimately in this video, we will be testing out and going over everything about this one, from acceleration to braking, steering feel, ride quality, sound system, exhaust clip, all that fun stuff. So having said all of that, what do you guys say? Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. And as always, let's start with pricing. So as you can imagine, there are a couple different configurations for the GLC 300. Got the rear wheel drive setup starting at $47,100, and then there is the 4MATIC all-wheel drive starting at $49,100. But regardless of the configuration that you go with, the power plant is going to be the same. Powering the beast is a 2-liter turbocharged inline 4-cylinder with a mild hybrid system, putting out 255 horsepower, 5,800 RPM, 295 pound-feet of torque, coming in at 2,000 RPM. That power being sent to the rear wheels or all wheels through a 9-speed automatic with paddle shifters, which we'll test out here in a little bit. 0 to 60 time coming in at approximately 6.2 seconds for either configuration, with MPG numbers coming in at approximately 22 in the city, 27 on the highway, taking premium unleaded fuel. And so before we do any kind of fun acceleration or paddle shifter test in the GLC 300, I wanted to mention to you guys the drive modes. So the way Mercedes-Benz does drive modes is a button called Dynamic. It stands for Dynamic Select. If you press that on the infotainment screen, you can choose between off-road, eco, comfort, sport, and individual. The last one being, of course, where you can really tailor the car to your own liking, but ultimately adjusting things like the shift points, the throttle response, the steering sensitivity, and the all-wheel drive system engagement as well. So now having got all of that out of the way, what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and find a straightaway. Let's put the paddle shifters and acceleration here to the test. Let's see how quickly the paddle shifters are going to react for us here, and let's see how quickly we can get this one here up to speed. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go, baby. Oh my gosh. Instant acceleration, you guys. Yeah, that is plenty. Definitely not going to have any issues emerging onto the highway. Wow, that was cool. And actually, I forgot to do the paddle shifters. Let's actually, let's do that one more time. Go. All right, there's an ever so slight delay, but I really like how these paddle shifters feel. For reference, I just got done driving the C-Class, which is the car version of this essentially, and the paddle shifters didn't feel as nice as they feel in the GLC. They feel a little bit different when you actually hit them, and they feel a little quicker as well for whatever reason. So paddle shifters are nice. Acceleration is wonderful, and that's due in part because of that mild hybrid system. It was instant acceleration because of that, because typically if that wasn't there with just a regular turbocharged 4-cylinder, you are going to get some kind of turbo lag or a little bit of hesitation when you first hit the gas. But with the mild hybrid system, that kind of compensates for that. So it is an instant acceleration because of that. So definitely a fan of the acceleration without a doubt. But anyways, to go along with that acceleration, as always, braking is equally important. And so 4-wheel ventilated disc brakes do come standard. As far as that braking feel goes, it's fine. It doesn't feel quite as nice as C-Class I just got done driving. A little softer of a braking feel to the GLC, I feel like, but it's not bad. Having said that, Mercedes-Benz typically does a wonderful job with their braking. Specifically, their 60-0 stopping distance numbers, which hasn't been tested yet for the GLC 300 because literally this thing just came out. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is braking is plenty fine on this thing. But then touching on suspension and handling, a 4-wheel independent suspension with the multi-link design does come standard. Adaptive damping suspension though as well. So essentially what that is it's going to monitor each shock absorber individually, not only adjusting to the road imperfections, but also tightening up that suspension during heavy cornering, really giving you the best of both worlds. So that is something I always like to recommend when it doesn't come standard, because traditionally it won't come standard, but with the GLC 300 it does, and I love that. And because of that, and because of this perfectly newly paved road, ride quality has been excellent so far today, as you would expect from Mercedes-Benz and as you would expect from an adaptive damping suspension as well. So certainly no issues there. As far as steering feel goes, it is a noticeable difference depending upon the drive mode that you put it in. So I still got it in that sport driving mode right now, and it is a much heavier feel. But let's see, if I were to take it out of that and put it in comfort, it does loosen up pretty substantially. So it's a lot looser of a steering feel then. So honestly, even in the sport driving mode, it is kind of on the looser side, but it's to be expected in SUVs. As far as cabin noise goes, as we're going 12 miles per hour right now, it's been perfectly fine. And honestly, Mercedes-Benz always does an amazing job with the loud lack of wind noise and road noise coming into the cabin, so definitely no issues there either. And touching on visibility, I can see 100% perfectly fine out the back. And actually, I love how those second row headrests aren't that kind of crazy large, because sometimes they are, but in the GLC 300 they're not. So for that reason I can see perfectly fine. And not only that, touching on forward visibility a little bit, you actually do get rain sensing windshield wipers coming standard on the GLC 300 as well. So if this thing detects any kind of mist or rainfall, it's going to automatically turn on those windshield wipers for you. So it's just one less thing you got to worry about, kind of like automatic headlights. But that pretty much rounds out the performance segment of this review, guys. Let's now go ahead and take a look at the exterior of our brand new, slightly refreshed 2023 GLC 300. All right, so here she is, you guys, the new 2023 Mercedes-Benz GLC 300, finished in polar white, in case you were curious of our exact exterior color name. But let me just touch on real quick some of the changes on the exterior for 2023. They are minor. The real changes come on the inside, but single horizontal metal strip across the front grille, that does come standard. That's a little bit changed. There's some reshaped headlights as well. To me, they kind of look a lot more similar to the electrified Mercedes-Benz that have been coming out lately, so that's my personal opinion. I like the look of it. Anyways, those are probably the two main changes on the exterior for 2023. A little bit reshaped taillights, which I'll get to in a second here too. But let's go ahead and start where this one is actually made. Taking a look at the VIN, first character is the letter W, indicating that the GLC 300 is built and assembled in Germany, of course. Up front, you will find LED headlights with LED daytime running lights. You get the automatic feature with them as well, meaning when it starts to get dark in at night, headlights will turn on automatically for you there. Also, automatic high beams though. So if you have your high beams on at night and sense the vehicle coming in the opposite direction, it's going to automatically dim them back to low beams. Then when that vehicle is gone, it's going to automatically then bounce it back up to high beams. So very convenient feature there as well. You do have a little bit of some chrome accenting up front, up on the front lip here as well. I did want to mention there is an AMG line package that essentially replaces all of the chrome with gloss black accents, so that's available. Also gives you a diamond block front grille up front and a bunch of other gloss black exterior accents throughout this one as well. But that pretty much rounds out the front end of this one. Let's now go ahead and make our way to the side. All right, so now since we are around to the side of the GLC 300, roof rails do come standard, definitely like those. Chrome window surrounds also coming standard, unless you go with the AMG line, then you're gonna get gloss black window surrounds, of course, and that's the same deal actually with the side mirrors. Body colored side mirrors do come standard, however, gloss black side mirrors are gonna come with the AMG line, of course. Power adjustable side mirrors as expected, LED integrated turn signals as well. They will be heated and power folding as well, which even on luxury manufacturers doesn't always come standard, so I always like to emphasize that. There are some chrome accents found on the door handles. And then taking a look at the wheel configuration, 18-inch, 19-inch, and 20-inch wheel designs available. Of course, AMG line is going to get AMG specific alloy wheels, but you can really customize this thing and make it your own because there are so many different wheel options available for the GLC 300. But anyways, that pretty much rounds out the side profile. Let's now go ahead and make our way to the back. All right, so but now since we are around to the back all the way to the top, I always say this with Mercedes, there's no shark fin antenna. It's a very clean look up top, so I do want to start by mentioning that. Just below that, rear spoiler with the integrated brake light. Just below that, rear window wiper, of course. You got the 4MATIC badging if you go with that 4MATIC all-wheel drive version. To the sides, LED taillights, and again, they are redesigned, a much kind of narrower, more sleekish look in the back in terms of that design, at least, so I like that. You got the gloss black kind of accenting, tying together the two taillights back there, and just all the way to the bottom there, you will either get some chrome accenting or gloss black accenting. Again, whether or not you go with the AMG line package or not, obviously we don't have it, in case I didn't mention that already. But my favorite part of the back here, integrated dual exhaust outlets with chrome tips. I always love the look when the exhaust is integrated into the rear bumper. It looks so dang good. But having said that, I do believe you guys know what we have to do next. As always, here is that exhaust clip. So now since we are around to the back of the GLC, when it comes to opening that rear tailgate, it is a power tailgate that does come standard. There's a button on the key fob, of course, there's a button on the driver's side door, and a button on the liftgate itself. But once opened up, cargo capacity comes in at 21.9 cubic feet. If that was not enough space, there is a 40-20-40 split, bumping that up to 59.3 cubic feet. There are some grocery bag hooks back there on both sides, of course. Cargo lighting, tie-down anchors. There's actually a cargo cover as well. There's some netted storage to the left side back there. There's actually buttons in the cargo area to fold down the seats as well, by the way, which was super convenient. And then if you were to lift up underneath of that cargo floor, you will actually find a spare tire, which I always say I personally prefer as opposed to the fix-a-flat, just because it's what I'm used to. But so then making our way up to the rear legroom, that is going to come in at 37.4 inches. So for reference, I'm an even 6 feet tall. This is how much space I had back there. There is a rear center armrest with a phone holder back there, so I did want to mention that. Rear ventilation also comes standard, and there's a little bit of storage underneath of that rear ventilation back there as well. But then make our way up to the front seats. Power adjustable front seats with memory settings do come standard. They will be heated as well. Ventilated front seats are going to be optional. As far as seat comfort goes, it actually was perfectly fine. I certainly didn't have any issues with finding my perfect driving position in the GLC here. Then taking a look at the steering wheel, it is tilt and telescoping. It will be leather wrapped as well. Definitely a nice feel to it. Make our way to the startup. Let me start by showing you guys the key here. You got your Mercedes-Benz logo all the way to the top. Essentially that doubles as the lock button. There's unlock, and of course the button pop the rear lift gate there as well. But it is all keyless entry with a push button start. So all I'm going to do here is simply put my foot on the brake and press that engine start button located just to the left kind of the air vents there. But once started up, there is a 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster. It is so customizable. It looks absolutely amazing. So for example, you can completely change the loadout. So there's an understated loadout. There's a sport, classic. You can actually choose to display the navigation map entirely covering the whole thing, kind of like Audi does as well. So I loved that look. And one step further, there's actually kind of some off-road information you can choose to display up there as well. And of course, you got your regular trip A, trip B, outside temperature, how many miles you have left until you hit empty, the normal stuff. But I really love how Mercedes-Benz did this, allowing you to completely customize what you want to view up there, the different colors, the different looks completely. So I'm always a big fan of Mercedes gauges. But anyways, then making our way to overall interior quality, there's a dual pane panoramic moonroof that comes standard on this one. Garage door openers can be found in the rear view mirror for up to 3 different garage doors. By the way, the rear view mirror is frameless as well. Love that. Plenty of wood trims available for this one. When you're actually able to start building these, not at the time of this video because it's still brand new, but when you're actually able to start building these, you're going to see all the different wood trims available. You got dual cup holders up front, of course, plenty of space within there. 64 colors of ambient lighting, and I always say this, Mercedes-Benz does ambient lighting brilliantly, really better than any other manufacturer in my personal opinion. And within the center armrest there is actually a deep bit of storage, plenty of storage there, and there's a little tray on top as well. And there's some aluminum speaker covers as well. I don't want to forget to mention that. We'll get to the sound system here in a second, but I love the quality of the speaker covers. And overall, to sum it up, Mercedes-Benz always does an incredible job with their interior quality. But now let's go ahead and make our way to the infotainment screen here, because this is pretty cool. 11.9-inch portrait style color touchscreen display. Now let me first start by giving the disclaimer. It worked 95% of the time when I had this vehicle. However, at the beginning, it was a little bit glitchy for like 10 minutes or so. It gave me this 90s static TV look, but it did end up going away on its own. But Bluetooth and audio streaming do come standard. Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. You got factory navigation system up there, climate control settings, ambient lighting settings as well, and of course, your radio information. And so a Burmester 3D surround sound system is what we have today. So having said that, I do believe you guys know what we have to do next. Let's go ahead and turn on the radio, see what we got playing today, and let's test out the clarity of this one. That was actually pretty darn good. We don't have Sirius XM turned on quite yet on this thing, but for FM radio, that was pretty darn good. Plenty of clarity, plenty of bass. I actually don't have any issues with that. And the coolest thing about it is the way you actually turn up and down the volume. You can't simply just press in on the volume button, but I kind of like the way where you slide your finger up and back, forward and backwards to actually turn up and down the volume. That's pretty darn cool. I like that. And so the last thing I wanted to mention to you guys on the infotainment screen, of course, is when you put the GLC in reverse, you will find a rear view camera coming standard across the board. Surround view monitor also available as well. That's going to be that bird's eye view, and also Parktronic is available on the GLC as well, where it essentially parks itself. So as always, all of that is going to lead us into safety. And so to start, front side curtain airbags do come standard. There is the driver's knee airbag up front as well. In the back, you're going to have latch, aka lower anchors to tethers to children for the rear car seats, rear child door locks, tire pressure monitoring system, but also standard, a collision mitigation braking system, driver attention monitoring system, Parktronic with active parking assist, active brake assist with autonomous emergency braking, blind spot assist, and a Mercedes-Benz emergency call service as well. So if you were to get into an accident, the airbags deploy, the vehicle itself is actually going to call you and ask if you need an ambulance or police or whatever the case. So that is pretty darn cool as well. So overall, when it comes to my final thoughts, incredible interior quality in the GLC without a doubt. Also, another thing I wanted to mention, since I haven't mentioned it yet, you do get a 4-year, 50,000 mile bumper to bumper general warranty for the Mercedes-Benz GLC 300. So in case you were curious about that, I love the parking assistance package. I actually made a TikTok and YouTube shorts on that. So I'll be posting that probably in a few days here, but the parking assistance is absolutely nuts. As far as room for improvement goes, this thing has so many different options. It can definitely get pricey quick. And of course, there was the glitchy new infotainment system, which is amazing when it worked, I will say that, but it did go 90 static TV on me there for a little bit. And so, but that is about it for this one, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to follow me on social media at the bottom of the screen if you want to see what's coming next on the channel before it gets to YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe and the bell notification button if you're into new car reviews. That is what we do here on this channel after all. Do appreciate you guys watching more than you know, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Stay gold.